I speak here today on behalf of our organization, Israelis for Peace. As Israelis living in Germany, we have been demonstrating every Friday for almost a year now in front of the Auswärtiges Amt with a clear demand: stop weapon deliveries to Israel and impose a ceasefire. And of course, we are just one small group out of many organizations and hundreds of thousands of people who have been demonstrating in Germany throughout the year. And I'm very happy and excited to see so many people here today demanding an immediate ceasefire and a just peace. But I'm also furious. I'm furious that 1 year on we still have to be standing here demonstrating for this very elementary demand, that Germany stop its support for what are indisputable war crimes and crimes against humanity, the worst we have seen in this century. This war must stop, first of all, for the sake of Palestinians who are living through these unspeakable atrocities and being killed by them, and for the sake of the Lebanese. But it must also be stopped for the sake of Israelis, for us and for our families back home. What future does Israel give us? A future of endless war. Our so-called moderate politician, Benny Gantz, said a few months ago that children who are now 12 will still be fighting in Gaza and in the West Bank and in Lebanon. I will not have this future for my son. I will not have it for anyone's child. Israel's leaders, all of them, they tell us that we have no other choice, that if we want to live, we must live by the sword. They tell us this lie when there have been so many different choices we could have made, so many opportunities which Israel rejected, one after the other. Israel rejected peace. It refused diplomatic solutions, justice, and reconciliation throughout this horrible year and for all the decades before it. Our leaders chose war, again and again, not for our security, but for their political survival. They chose war out of their fundamentalist, Jewish supremacist ideology that refuses to acknowledge Palestinians as equal human beings. But this remains the only truth and the only solution there is. Only when the two people living in the country will be free. Only when they have equal rights and equal share in determining their lives and fate will our children have a future other than killing and being killed. Only when the occupation and apartheid are over. Warlords thrive on war. And this government, the most extreme, the most authoritarian, the most contested there ever was in Israel, has used the long months of war to tighten its grip on the levers of power, to oppress and silence dissent, to bridle the press and media, and to poison the hearts and minds of Israelis with genocidal propaganda. They used these months to hand out guns, hundreds and thousands of firearms to terrified citizens. How long before these guns are used to kill women and children in Israel, as always happens when people keep a gun, on their table? How long before these guns are used against demonstrators in Israel? The extreme right-wing settler leading this government used the war to grab more land in the West Bank, to build more settlements, and now, after killing tens and thousands and reducing Gaza to rubble, they are ethnically cleansing North Gaza to prepare it for permanent occupation. These war criminals, these mass murderers, have as little scruple about sacrificing the lives of their own citizens. They are sacrificing the lives of the hostages to destroy Gaza, and they are risking every person in Israel and the entire region to ignite an imperial war with Iran and its allies. These criminal leaders tell us that only military strength and victories will bring us security. But I don't think anyone in Israel believes them anymore. not after October 7th. That mighty Israeli army, with all its overwhelming technological advantage and German weapons, could not protect thousands of civilians attacked in their homes on that day. Like everyone who has family in Israel, I'm afraid for their safety. Like anyone else, I would like to make sure that such a heinous massacre of civilians could never happen again. But I refuse to accept that security for my family must mean death, starvation, and endless terror to millions of other families who are no different than mine. Regardless of the terrible crimes that our leaders and their leaders committed, we all deserve to live in safety and freedom. But this lie that we have no choice is also a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have gone so far down the road of killing and destruction that it does seem sometimes like all other options are lost. It does take much courage and faith to imagine where we stand today, a different future. And that is why Palestinians and Israelis who are fighting for peace and justice, the two of them together and not apart, are weaker than ever. We cannot reopen this path by ourselves. We cannot rebuild these possibilities only from within. Only decisive international action can push in this direction and create new political reality. First of all, by ending the war, and then by enacting the recent UN decisions about stating that the occupation is illegal, and all the previous international decisions about the occupied territories and the rights of the Palestinian people. It is the responsibility of Olaf Scholz, of Annalena Baerbock, and most of all of Joe Biden to end the war today and to respect international law and justice. Violence and dehumanization never stop at the border. They always turn around to affect those who inflict them on others. Israeli society is already sick and crumbling with them. No matter what happens next, the atrocities that our society has committed in Gaza will haunt us all our lives. But we must do everything in our power to end them now, if there is to be any hope for a different future for Palestinians and for Israelis. Thank you.
Ceasefire now! 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 Ceasefire now!